We talked about kids.
Yeah, true. But just so you guys know, because you guys are, beautiful women. You guys are still like women, right? But men, right? Men see a baddie, we think like, I'm gonna get her pregnant. That's what men think when they see a baddie.
What do you do when you think you are above the program, but that man quickly reminds you that you are not? Shanice thought she was gonna get special treatment from the game, but he was like, I mean, he does have a lot of respect for her, but he was not finna be sitting up there playing house like she wanted him to. Save this as your friendly reminder that you are never above the program.
Girl, Shanice losing it after the game made it public that he never wanted her. She was just another baby mama to him. The internet hasn't only been dragging Shanice for not knowing better, but also Evelyn for essentially turning her daughter into a groupie just to stay relevant. But y'all, Evelyn is raging too, and she's calling out the game for abandoning her daughter. The tea is insane because Shanice literally ended up in the very situation she's been running from this whole time.
You surprised that they weaponized the fact that you two had a baby against me on the show? Like, I had a feeling it would happen, but like, how did you feel about that? Because
they called you a felon.
Yeah. I mean, true.
Are you a felon?
I am. So I don't feel slighted by someone trying to like throw like my past at me. Yeah, I'm a felon. My mama know I'm a felon. My kids know I'm a felon. My fans know I'm a felon, and that's just what it is.
Okay, so the game appeared on a podcast with Shanice and her mother, Evelyn Lozada. Both part 1 and part 2 of the interview are out, and honestly, Shanice should have checked out on this one because it's beyond clear that the game had been waiting for the perfect moment to embarrass her. When Shanice said, "You didn't give me enough grace," he agreed, admitting that a lot of his anger came from not meeting the expectations that were placed on him. And just like that, they moved on. But the interview itself was extremely telling. One of the biggest things that stood out was that Shanice truly didn't understand what she was getting into with the game. Their connection was nothing more than a situationship, and it only became more serious once Shanice got pregnant with their son, BL1. To be fair to Shanice, though, it does seem like she was perfectly fine being the game's sneaky link. She never posted him, and even her own mother, Evelyn, didn't know that her daughter and the game were involved. Shanice knew that them being together wasn't a good look. Somewhere along the way, however, the game started making promises he had no intention of keeping. Now, Shanice is not a child, and a quick Google search would have told her to grab her heels and run as fast as possible. It's hard to believe she didn't know about the game's reputation, especially since they had been running in the same circles for years. What makes it even crazier is that the game's ex-fiancée, Tiffany, was friends with Evelyn for a long time and even attended her baby shower. A simple watch of his reality TV show would have made it clear that this isn't a man you'd expect to do right by you. Can you believe Shanice didn't even know he was a felon until he told her on the podcast? That information is public record, yet she had no idea. So when she told the game she was pregnant, she expected excitement and joy, believing they were about to become a family. Instead, he just wasn't feeling it. When she didn't receive the love and adoration she expected, it threw her completely off and left her emotionally wrecked.
When she told me, I was shocked a little bit. Like literally, I was shocked. And we got into this, thing. I love being a dad, right? Like absolutely love being a dad. But I was shocked as shit. And I don't think it was the reaction that Sha wanted. So she cried a little bit. And it was uncomfortable for her and for me. Just so you guys know, because you guys are beautiful women. You guys are still like women, right? But men, right? Men see a baddie, we think like I'm gonna get her pregnant. That's what men think when they see a baddie.
Child, this ain't it. What's crazy is that Shanice still tried to rationalize everything. She claimed that the game manifested their son and couldn't stop talking about having a baby until she eventually got pregnant with BL1. But child, the real reason the game wanted a kid is way messier than that. On the podcast, he openly admitted his mindset. He basically said that when men see a baddie, their first thought isn't love or commitment. It's, I'm going to get her pregnant. And that's exactly what happened here. He didn't want a baby because he genuinely liked Shanice. No, all he saw was a baddie, and he wanted to put a baby in her just for the thrill of it. She wasn't special, and all of the expectations she built in her head were dead on arrival. Shanice isn't a kid anymore, which makes this even sadder. She had a baby with a man who was running game on her the entire time, and she was too lost in her feelings to see it. I mean, his name isn't the game for nothing. How did she ever think she was going to get a ring and a white picket fence from him when every woman before her who tried ended up disappointed? Every single one. It also became clear that the game is the type of man who enjoys seeing women get emotionally stirred up over him. During the interview, there was a moment when he started talking about marriage, how some people thrive in it and others don't. As he said this, he kept looking directly at Shanice, watching her reaction. That told us everything we needed to know. He knew Shanice didn't want to be a baby mama. Why else would she stay child-free until 30, just to end up in a situation similar to her mother's? He knew she wanted a serious relationship that could lead to marriage, and he likely leaned into that desire. He told her exactly what she wanted and needed to hear until she was eating out of his hands. Even when Shanice asked how he would feel if their son, Blaze, got a stepdad, he basically told her, without saying it directly, that she's now tied to him for life and men won't want to take her seriously anytime soon. He made it clear that if she were to get married next year, it wouldn't happen. Not because of her, but because of him. He went on to explain that once a man realizes your baby daddy is the game, things get tricky. Men start thinking about who he is, what his reputation is, and whether they'd have to deal with him. That alone tells you how he views himself. As a barrier in her life, not a blessing. Child, this cannot be what 46 years of growth looks like in a man. He pulled an offset move and essentially told her that he won by making her his baby mama. He painted her as undesirable, treated her like his possession, and positioned himself as someone she can never fully escape. The truth is, he probably doesn't even want her getting married because he wants the option to dip in and out whenever he feels like it. Throughout the podcast, Shanice sounded genuinely stunned. You could hear it in her voice, cracking, shaky, trying to hold it together. She seemed completely unable to believe that he could do this to her. Now, the ironic part is the aftermath. Evelyn has since spoken out, saying she watched the interview and saw everything clearly. In 4K, as she put it. She acknowledged that the game played her daughter. Shanice was trying to break the cycle and build a life completely different from her mother's. But all that careful planning was thrown right back in her face when she realized she had a man who didn't want her, only wanted to put a baby in her for fun. That said, people aren't fully buying the story Evelyn is selling. Out of all people, Evelyn Lozada from the Bronx didn't teach her daughter street smarts? That's hard to believe. Especially when Evelyn literally watched the game treat her friend Tiffany the exact same way. Yet somehow she didn't warn her own daughter. Make it make sense. Evelyn has a long history of poor decisions when it comes to men. She's been around. If she had truly put her daughter up on game, Shanice likely would have avoided the game altogether. Instead, Shanice walked into this blind and paid the price. The game admitted on her own podcast that his intent was to get her pregnant simply because she was a baddie. Like what? I would have almost respected the situation more if she had gotten pregnant by one of these knucklehead athletes still in the league. They're not perfect either, but at least the checks are consistent. When Shanice tried to suggest he wanted more kids, he shut that down too, repeating the same line. Men see a baddie and think, I'm going to get her pregnant. I truly cannot. So what do y'all think? Was Shanice completely gamed? Sound off in the comments, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, and please don't get pregnant just for being a.
Well, thank you for saying that you didn't give me enough grace, because I do agree with you. And I think a lot of my anger came from you not delivering what the expectations were.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that there.
I know people that have been married for 15 years that are fucking miserable. Right. That are miserable. And I look at that and I'm like, I feel like I'm doing good, right? Like I'm great. I'm not married yet, but I feel good and I'm happy to be exactly who I am. And I also know people who are, married and thriving. So I think that your happiness and what works out or what you feel didn't work out is like subjective to now. If Sha got married next year, which is very unlikely because